There were a couple of things that inspired me to become an engineer, and it was all about things that happened in my childhood. So there's two things I remember. The first one was man landing on the moon, and I remember watching it with absolute excitement, and we all sat around the telly to watch it. But the thing I was asking was, how did they get there? What did they have to do to make a machine in those days to get them to the moon, and how will they get back safely? And then the other thing was Concorde flying over my house, testing in the early days, and hearing the sonic boom, and my dad saying that's a sonic boom, and me asking the question, what's a sonic boom, and then being encouraged to find out all about science. So those are the two things that stick in my mind that I think encouraged me to study sciences.
So I was actually the first person in my family to go to college, and I was on a pretty classic career path. I thought I was going to become a doctor, so I entered undergrad as a major in biology. And kind of through the process and taking courses, I took a plant ecology course that got us outside. And that was the first time I really had the transformative idea that I could be a scientist and, make my living doing field research, being outside. And so that was kind of the beginning of the path that I took, ultimately.
When I was 10 years old, I watched the space shuttle launch at school in the library, back when they used to advertise on TV. And then my parents took me to Kennedy Space Center, and I fell in love with the idea of being an astronaut. So I was always really good at math, science, that sort of thing. Majored in engineering, and here I am today.
I've always had a love of being outside, and I also felt always drawn to math and science. My parents then continued to encourage that in me as I got older, and it just grew my love for those fields.
So when I was 15, I realized that I loved mathematics. And I knew that when I left school and went into university that I wanted to keep studying maths and do something related to maths. And we actually had a female engineer come and visit us at my school on its open day. And she was really inspiring and just made me see that there were all of these cool things that we could do that were related to maths that were outside of traditional theoretical maths. So I studied civil and environmental engineering. I don't think I ever decided to become a scientist. I just have always done what I've really liked to do and kept following what I love, and right from probably a little kid through to now I just kept doing what I like doing.
I became an engineer because I really loved maths and physics at school, and I found engineering to be a really great way of applying that to solve real problems in the world, and science and engineering are very much linked. It's really all part of a spectrum of answering questions and then applying those to solve real problems. I really wanted to learn how the world worked, and I think growing up in a place where there was so much emphasis on the environment really influenced who I've become and pursuing a career in science.
I've always really enjoyed problems and challenges in the environment, and this is really how I got into engineering. This was through the science side. But then I realized that engineers are the people who are actually making a difference and applying the sciences.
I suppose that change in technology and change in speed was something that fascinated me. I always wanted to understand how it all worked.
Well, my mom is a scientist. I know it's a cliche answer, but definitely that was a part of it. And I always loved exploring rivers and lakes and going swimming, and being able to spend my time thinking about those places or sometimes being in them was really a motivation. And I always loved solving problems, so being able to think about problems related to water and rivers was something that was really exciting to me.